Well, hello, Viking fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Viking Talk with Coach Josh Morgan. I'm Brandon Davis, and with us as always, Warren Central head football coach Josh Morgan. Coach, great to see you.
You too, Brandon.
Well, Coach, what a difference a week makes. We were visiting last week. We were on a high. We just had a 13-0 victory over Home Central. This week, we come back. We suffered from a 42-0 loss at the hands of the Pearl Pirates. You've had a chance to look at the film and analyze things. So, what were some of the key takeaways that you had for the game?
Well, bottom line is we didn't play very well. We didn't execute very well. We didn't take care of the ball very well. The things that we've tried to do and build our program around, we were not very good at. And the little things, speaking of, and Pearl's a very good football team, and but we can be and going to be a lot better than what we showed last Friday night.
Well, Coach, a lot of disappointed guys after the game, both coaches and players. But when you have to always speak to the team right after the game, what type of a message are you able to give a team after having a loss like that?
Well, we usually deliver that message on the Monday coming back. And, at that point in time right there, you're really kind of wasting your breath and spinning your wheels when you try really harp on it and fix things and talk about things right after a game. And but our kids have responded well, and nobody wants that to happen again. It's been a long time since we've gotten beat like that, and it doesn't feel good, and we're anxious to be better.
Well, you just hit on the kids responded well, but before Monday rolled around, you're sitting there over the weekend thinking about it. Were you concerned there may be some carryover when the kids got back and got on the practice field that they may be letting that linger over their head?
Well, you want it to hurt them. You don't want it to feel good, and you don't want it to get used to it, and the biggest thing is making sure that they stay together and stay the course. And we talk about adversity a lot around here and tough times, and that there's an old saying that this school is and our program has been built off tough times don't last, Vikings do, and so we're going to weather the storm and just ready to get this taste out of our mouth for sure, though.
Well, I mean, you just hit on another great point. I mean, adversity is something that you can learn. I always tell folks that some of the best lessons I learned in life was the defeat on the football field. So You can take this and teach these kids maybe some valuable lessons going forward, right?
Well, there's always learning to be done, and there's lessons to be done, and even when you win, you're still trying to learn and to teach, and we're still, that was the second game of the year, so it's a lot of learning going on, and that's our job is to be able to get them to come back to work and get them ready to play and fix mistakes and try not to make those same mistakes.
Well, not everything was negative. We look at some of the younger guys that got a chance to play. Maybe we saw a glimpse of the future. Quarterback Hartley Sullivan, sophomore, also had several other younger skilled players that got some quality reps. So what were some of the positives you were able to take away from those kids' play?
Well, we were going to use it as a chance, again, to build depth and to, I think, our kids never stopped playing, never stopped fighting, and but when those young guys, Antonio Thomas was another one and Javion Mims, those guys that we talked about really earlier in the year, that they came in and they made well use of their time, we're going to get them more involved, and really based off the trust that and how they handled Friday night versus Pearl. So it's a good thing when you get some guys in that you wouldn't normally get in, and thought they handled it well.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you. So you never want to put a player in a position where you're getting beat like that, but there's got to be some value of getting that younger player some quality rep, because they're going to have their time.
That's right. We're going to get everything we can out of it, and it's a 4-quarter game, and we're going to use that time wisely, and that's what we tried to do there.
Well, this is Viking Talk. We're visiting with Coach Josh Morgan. Well, Coach, this week, crosstown rival Vicksburg Gators. What should we expect from this Vicksburg squad?
Well, it's Warren Central Vicksburg, and it's fun for our kids and great for our schools and both schools, and it's a rivalry that really hits home to alumni and people who went to school here in Vicksburg as well, and carries a lot of weight. And it's kind of like I told the guys, they have to carry, they have to play, and they have to carry the stick for a lot of people, and that responsibility is on them in our senior class. And but these are fun games to play in.
Well, Coach, there was numerous times we got to see Vicksburg during the Red Carpet Bowl. They played Madison Central. There was numerous times that their defensive line, I thought, gave Madison Central some difficulty running the football, especially you look at defensive tackle Michael Montgomery over there at Vicksburg. With the inexperience that we have with our offensive line, does that concern you, the play of Vicksburg's defensive line?
Yeah, there's a lot of concerns going in this game, and we're getting ready to play a hard-fought game. We know we're going to get their best, and our guys are still, a lot of our concerns falls on our players, and it's really, trying to get better and trying to get there in a hurry, and so it'll be really good to see us respond, and hopefully we respond in a manner that's pleasing to all of us.
Well, you have 3 sophomores starting on the offensive line. There's not many 6A teams in the state that's going to have that. But the past 2 weeks, these kids have played against some very talented defensive lines. So you got to feel good going in that they've had some tests on them.
Yeah, they've had tests, but it's that's the life that we live in, and is up front. You're looking at grown men, and on both sides of the ball, and it's the biggest difference in 1A, 2A, 3A, all the way up to 6A. 6A is it's really the offensive line and defensive line are superior, far superior. It's really, when you look at the SEC and other conferences, the thing that separates them is that position, and so we're going to see that, and we've got to make that a strength of ours, and so we're going to get there. It's just a process.
That's right. Offensive line usually takes 3 or 4 games to gel, especially when you got new groups. So that was one game against Pearl. We're moving forward. Let's talk about this week in our offense. We've struggled so far, Coach, with the vertical passing game. So talk about how important it is going to be for us to maybe get that established as we play and take some pressure off our running game this week.
Yeah, we want to be balanced on offense, but at the same time, we want to take care of the football. So we can't just say we're going to go out and throw it 20 times and put the ball in the air and not be productive, not protect the quarterback, not know where our check downs are, and not be sound in that area. So what we have to do is we got to look at what we do best, our personnel, and we have to play to it. And if that means running the ball 80% of the time, then that's what we're going to do. But it comes down to moving the chains, field position, taking care of the football, and that's what we've got to do a really good job at. Again, it starts with establishing a run game and then being able to throw off of it and things of that nature. So that's something that's, again, that we know that we've got to get better at, and we're trying to bring them along week by week.
Offensively for Vicksburg, they're led by running back Seth Phillips and wide receiver DeAndre McAlpin. They seem like they put those guys all over the field doing a little bit of everything, everything but driving the bus. So what element do these guys bring to the game for Vicksburg?
Well, they Vicksburg always has speed, and anytime you can throw it, catch it, and you present your problems for defense. And anytime that you have speed, you're one missed tackle away or one bust assignment away from a big play. And that's been our focus all week, is being in the right place and making sure that we're rallying to the ball. And the guy that I've been really impressed with is the quarterback. I think he's done a really good job of not only throwing the football but running it as well. They've done a good job with him, and this will be his 3rd game starting as a quarterback, and I've been very impressed with him, along with their tailback, who you mentioned earlier, Cedric Phillips. Those 2 guys have done a really good job.
Well, yeah, you talk about their quarterback, that's Shakori Reagan. He's very inexperienced. I believe it's his 1st year playing football. He is a junior, but he likes to throw the ball around the yard, and he has a pretty good arm, and he has some speed to go along with that. What do we need to do defensively, Coach, to slow him down?
Well, the thing that we didn't talk about is they have 4 of their starting linemen back, and that's where games are won and lost, and so they have a good core up front to protect those guys, and I think that's why you've had them have seen some success from both of those guys early on, is because of the guys up front. So our defensive line is going to have to play well. It's another area we've got to really turn it up a notch and get back to penetrating and making plays and being disruptive, and I think that'll be a big challenge. And I think on the back end is really doing a good job of preventing big plays.
So, Coach, we'll talk about it a little bit more in a second, but we've won 7 in a row against Vicksburg. We've dominated the series in the recent history. With our team knowing that and knowing the record against Vicksburg, does it concern you of any letdown and maybe that we let our guard down and let Vicksburg sneak up on us?
Well, we can't afford to have our guard down at all. It doesn't matter who we're playing. We've got to get better. It's about us. It's about it's a chance and another Friday night to get better, and then on top of that, you're playing your rival that's across town that you're friends with, and I know some of these coaches live, in the same communities, and you got sprinkled green and red all over this place, and this is a big game. It's a big deal for these kids, and I don't look for that to be a problem at all.
Coach Tim Hughes come into a difficult situation at Vicksburg. Talk about the job he's done putting his staff together and turning this program around.
He's doing a good job. He's a good man, and he's put some good people around him, and he's done good things, and you can tell he knows what he's doing, and he's definitely got him going in the right direction.
Well, Coach, this is a rivalry that a lot of people around the state, I don't know if they forget about it, they don't talk about it very much, but this is a game you don't want to lose because that's going to leave a sour taste in your mouth, right? Yeah,
I'm not worried about what people around the state are talking about. This is a big deal in this place and this community and in both these schools, and it carries a lot of weight, and there's a lot of bragging rights that go with it, and there's a lot of harsh feelings in there mixed in between all that, and the good thing about it is that when all the dust is cleared, you go back to doing what you normally do, but the outcome of the game is going to carry weight no matter what.
Right.
And I've been on the wrong end of it before, and it's not a good feeling.
Well, Coach, you talked a little bit about how the players responded. I mean, how proud are you that they are able to maybe just wipe their nose, forget about that one, let's move on. Pearl, it's one game, the season's not over with, let's move forward. Talk about some of the leadership, how they have led this week, and what you're seeing from the seniors on this team.
Well, being a part of football in general for all of my life, things like this, when tough times come and outcomes come like this, you got two options. You get off the floor and go to work, or you lay in there and have your self-pity, and you break off on everything you've been working on. And this could be one of the best things that's ever happened to this team. And that's, as a coach, and you try to be as optimistic as you can. How can we get better from this? How can we learn from this? Choose the option that's best for your program, and that's part of leadership. You have to, somebody's got to rally the troops, and somebody's got to be that voice and to get everybody back on the same page and understand the big picture, and to keep on keeping on, and that's what we've tried to do. And like I said, our kids are not used to that. It didn't feel good, and it's one of those things where we're not going to let it one loss turn into two losses. We've dealt with it, and we called it what it was, and had good meetings and good practices all week, and again, just anxious to move on.
Well, it's good they didn't like it. It's good they want to move on. You've created a winning culture around here. Nobody likes that. So it's good that they're willing to move on. We're looking forward to seeing what they can do this week against Vicksburg. So let's talk about some injuries. Marvin Freeman, one of our seniors, one of our leaders, he went out against Home Central. Didn't see any action last week, a big loss for us. And then Quentin Pollard, who's really one of the stalwarts of the offense, he wasn't available last week either. So what's the availability of these two guys?
Well, Marvin is we're hoping to have him back by the time district starts. He's still getting over his injury, and he hasn't missed a meeting, hasn't missed a practice. He's been helping coach, senior, Really, really hate it for him, but he's handled it. You know, his response has been great, and he's handled it well. And I'm really hate that those senior boys like that when they get hurt and they don't get to play in the Vicksburg game and they miss the end of the red carpet bowl. You know, I hate it for the players. But Marvin, again, hoping he'll be back in a couple weeks, and Quentin Pollard, who is, you know, we really built our whole offense around at that H-back position. It's so important for us, and one of our better players he's going to be out another 4 weeks with a knee injury, and we lost our center in the Holmes County game, J.T. Hill. He's one of our senior offensive linemen. He'll be out another 2 weeks, and so we've got some guys that are bumped and bruises and starters, and we got to hurry up and get them back and get them back going. So, but other than that, you know, other than your mild bumps and bruises, we're all right.
Sounds like a good time for some younger guys to step up and grow really quick and get ready. Is what it sounds like to me. Well, Coach, you're on a 7-game winning streak over on Vicksburg. What's going to be the keys to getting us win number 8?
Well, I think we need to start fast. I think we need to, you know, establish our identity in the game, and that's being physical on both sides of the football. And I think, you know, the thing about these games is usually the first couple series, you know, the anxiousness and the excitement, and you know, we really try to prepare our guys for what's to come, because it's just the way it always is. And just to settle down and play one play at a time and do your job, and not getting caught up in all the extracurricular stuff. You know, let the cheerleaders cheer, and let the bands play, and let the crowds cheer, and you know, you do your job. And you know, that's kind of our message to our boys, and you know, just really focus on what you can control.
Coach, we appreciate your time again as always.
Thank you, buddy.
We'll see you next week. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the show. Before we end, though, I want to thank you all that came out to Pearl last week. A lot of you could have got up and left at halftime, and the score was kind of out of hand, but you stuck with us, and we appreciate that. I know this coaching staff, who provides so much of their own time to get this team ready, and the players themselves for the sacrifices they make. It really means a lot when you stick around and support us, so we really appreciate that. Next week, we're going to be on the road over at Brandon, taking on the Brandon Bulldogs. That's going to be another good game and another gauntlet match we have to tackle in this rough division that non-division we're dealing with. But thank you again for your support. We look forward to seeing you next week. For Brandon Davis, this is Josh Morgan. We'll see you next week. But until then, rise up, Vikings.